I'm Chris Lawrence in Dallas with your headlines from North Texas. Texas Instruments just cut the ribbon on a new semiconductor plant, expanding its capacity here. These chips are in almost everything we own, and we got a rare look inside the new factory in Sherman, about an hour north of Dallas. Here's Cole Sullivan.
The wait is over for a project that tested how many ways something can be called a big deal.
With today's announcement, Texas Instruments has made a Texas-size investment.
A state analogy from the state governor, a building one from the CEO who built it.
We poured more than 240,000 cubic yards of concrete, which is enough to pave a highway from New York to Washington, D.C.
But what's this big of a deal is actually quite small.
These are the end products.
Semiconductor chips like these are what Texas Instruments builds in this huge new facility in Sherman.
Ready to walk a little bit more? Yeah. Okay. All right.
Brian Dunlap showed us around, a rare first-hand look inside a factory building the foundation of modern technology.
Anything that plugs into a wall or has a battery is something that has a TI chip, at least one in there.
These are mainly destined for cars or to be used in data centers.
If you see the design on here, that's each one of these individual microchips.
But any contamination in the clean rooms where they're made can cause problems.
A speck of dust is a disaster.
Employees must wear protective gowns, less for their safety than for the chips.
Any small particle can go create, a defect that ruins the actual microchip.
TI says this plant will bring hundreds of jobs and tens of millions of dollars to the local economy. It's just one factory with the capacity to quadruple.
Especially as you think about the end vision here of building out 4 factories to go make this a mega site.
A huge project with a tiny product. In Sherman, I'm Cole Sullivan.
Crews have been combing the waters in Tarrant County searching for a kayaker who's been missing since Monday. Scoop Jefferson was there at the Marine Creek Reservoir Wednesday when the man's family showed up at the sea.
Search crews have spent hours here at Marine Creek Reservoir, and the missing kayaker's friends have also spent hours here waiting for answers. Friends of Juan Salgado did not leave the banks of the Marine Creek Reservoir Tuesday and Wednesday, watching every move by search crews. For hours, Texas game wardens searching for Salgado. His family reported him missing after going out on his kayak to fish on Monday. His friends shared photos of some of his catches, fishing his favorite thing to do. But after not hearing from him, his family called for help, concerned about his visit to Marine Creek and no return. The game warden used sonar technology to search the massive creek in Fort Worth. Their latest efforts Wednesday afternoon included using a cadaver dog as part of the search. His kayak and personal belongings have been found in the creek by authorities. Salgado nowhere to be found, his friends holding out hope, standing by his family.
We've been in touch with his little brother. I've been texting him, giving him updates. He's been telling his mom updates. Yesterday, once they ended the search once it started getting dark, they said they'll pick it back up in the morning. But once it got dark, all of his friends, they all went to his parents' house.
Fort Worth police released a missing persons flyer about Salgado, describing his last known clothing, asking the public for help. Juan's friends told me right now it's too hard on his family to be here at Marine Creek Reservoir. They are here in his family's place, hoping for the best. In Fort Worth, I'm Scoop Jefferson.
Dozens of high school football teams are vying for a state title, the culmination of months, years of hard work. Here's a look at all the schools from North Texas taking the field at AT&T Stadium. As Richard Solomon reports, there's a very strong showing from southern Dallas County.
In North Texas, high school football isn't just a game, it's a way of life. And this Saturday, that spotlight shines brightly on southern Dallas County. 3 schools, South Oak Cliff, Duncanville, and DeSoto, are all walking into AT&T Stadium with the same goal. These programs don't just share geography, but rivalries and communities that live and breathe every snap. And DeSoto's head coach says this moment isn't an ending.
Somebody said it was the end of an era. It's just beginning. It's just beginning. You're telling him it's just beginning.
It's a statement.
Because it all came out because I knew what people were saying about us and it gave us a chance, and our kids took care of business.
This will be DeSoto's 3rd consecutive state championship game. winning back-to-back titles in 22 and 23.
We know what the heck we're doing here, and we got great kids that we believe in. And I got a staff that I believe in. I got a community that we believe in.
And on South Oak Cliff's football field,
it's our time right now.
Coach Jason Todd, he's setting a standard. South Oak Cliff has played in the last 5 UIL state championships, losing the last 2. But Coach Todd says hopefully this year they're able to rewrite that ending.
Nobody ever said this could happen here. You always had to leave these type of places in people's eyes to go other places to be successful.
And for senior linebacker Jamarion Phillips, he knows this will be a game he'll never forget.
The last time of us playing as a whole together, so we got to cherish this moment and just make it the best.
But the Duncanville Panthers, they're not slowing up either. They're looking to win a championship after losing to North Crowley in the playoffs last year. These 3 schools, these 3 communities, one county carrying the weight of Texas football tradition. And when those lights come on Saturday, Dallas County won't just be represented, it will be competing for history.
And it's a touchdown!
In Dallas, I'm Richard Solomon.
You know, there's nothing like a transplant success story to lift our spirits this time of year. Not only did doctors save a young girl's life, they found a unique way to boost her confidence, too. Here's Kevin Reese.
Welcome back to the Sydney Show.
Sydney Wilson was born with the gift of gab. So much so,
Well, this is my baby sister.
that her parents allowed her to put all that talking on YouTube.
And that's all we have for today on the Sydney Show.
Her Sydney show, an outlet for a child also born with something else. Sydney had hypoplastic left heart syndrome, several open heart surgeries even before she was 4 years old, and her heart would, someday, fail.
Well, I talked a lot when I was younger.
This is the same Sydney talking to us now because Children's Health in Dallas saved her life, a combined heart and liver transplant.
I think she is remarkable.
Christine Wong is one of her transplant doctors who used a technology called normothermic machine perfusion, where the organs are stabilized and kept alive and circulating to improve their transplant success.
To get through all that and have a combined heart and liver transplant and do as well as she did is amazing.
Even though it's the hardest journey of my life, they made it a great experience for me, and I just really appreciate that.
And she appreciated one more big thing the hospital did next.
The Sydney Show gets a glow up, and it all starts now.
They hired a production company.
Here's your host, Sydney.
And brought the Sydney Show to modern day life, interviewing her doctors and her parents about the journey so far.
To get all this from going through that, I can't even put into words how grateful and amazing this experience has been.
Sydney is now a junior at Southern University in Baton Rouge. Not much of a surprise, she's majoring in mass communication and public relations.
I'm excited to see what all the future has in store, and I'm grateful that I have these organs now that were a gift to me to let me be able to continue on and live an amazing life.
Thanks to doctors and technology that saved her life, and a TV show that helped heal her soul.
Stay tuned for what I do next. Thanks for watching The Sydney Show.
In Dallas, I'm Kevin Reese.
Wow, Sydney's come so far, and God bless those doctors and nurses who helped her get there. And those are your headlines from North Texas.